And thanks for coming back to YourTown TV. And I'm Paulette Lynch, and so excited to be the host, especially today when our theme is all about youth leadership, youth voice, and the wonderful organizations that are really providing our kids with the skills, the confidence, and the opportunities to really develop all of that and so much more. So my next guest is Ben Bruce. He's the programming director for Community Partnership for Youth. And Ben, thank you so much for being here. I know you're crazy, crazy busy, but yours is such an important story to share. I have been a huge fan of CPY since it was started. I was development director for the Family Resource Center back in those days, and we knew so much about what families needed, and so little was actually being done that was very hands-on. And then here comes Sherry Hasty and says, okay, it's time. So can you take the story from there and what CPY is all about, and then we'll start to talk about the programs that you're engaged with.
Absolutely. No, first off, thank you for having me. This is a really special opportunity for us.
Thank you.
CPY started in 1991, so the reason Sherry and it was several other community members, city officials, school officials as well, came together. Unfortunately, there was a young man named Raymond Avila who was shot and killed in Seaside. And that really took the community aback, and they wanted to respond to this. They wanted to do something about it, and a couple of things that they settled upon that they realized. One was kind of the after-school hours. Those are prime times for youth to get in trouble, especially for youth violence to happen. The other thing that they really settled upon here, Raymond was in high school, but what they wanted to target was actually elementary school youth at that time, with the idea of creating a prevention program, with providing youth with a good foundation to go forward. So we often say CPY was born out of tragedy, in the sense that out of the killing of Raymond Avila, but it was with that we went forward to focus on mentorship, focus on supporting youth in academics, behavior, life skills, really to build up that self-esteem, and once again make sure that these youth go strong, go fearless into their future, and have that support system through mentors.
Well, there's so much to talk about your whole system and how you do that. And the Arts Council has, over the years, received so many of those beautiful thank you notes they always write. It's just beautiful. They're so effusive and so beautifully written. Everything is just so great. And over the years, we just have stacks and stacks of these wonderful thank you notes. But it seems like that is one of the great aspects of your program, is that it's very thoughtful and intentional about what are the kinds of behaviors and systems of behavior maybe that we want the kids to have. So can you talk a little bit about that? There's 7 elements or something?
There's 6 CPY standards.
There we go, standards, right.
6 CPY standards. They each teach, I would say, a different lesson on respect and integrity. Standard number 1 talks about how you greet one another. Standard number 2 is about how you use respectful speech. Standard number 3 is about valuing your space as well as others. And each of these standards, they're a tool for the students to have in the back of their head. We're very big on holding our kids to a high standard, but really what it means to be respectful to others, to yourself. And the standards were actually adopted pretty early on.
That's what I remember.
And I can't remember. I was not there. I've been with CPY for a very long time, but I wasn't there at the founding. But it was from an organization out in Portland, I believe Life Skills Incorporated.
Oh, okay.
But they've been a wonderful asset. We have students adults who have been through the program who still remember those standards. And they really have been, I would say, in all the growing that CPY has done over the years, they've been at the core of each of our programs.
Well, this is one of the things that we love so much about what you are up to. And one of the things that the Arts Council supports and that is really close to our heart is the Visual and Performing Arts Academy. And can you talk a little bit about what you're doing with that and how that helps to supplement, amplify, or how it is actually connected to the standards and other things that you're going for?
Absolutely. We are firm believers, so we we want to teach our students respect, but also we have a firm belief in the power of arts and new experience for our students, and creativity, and art is healing.
Yeah.
So the Visual and Performing Arts Academy has been ingrained in, again, all of our programs. And I should mention, you know, I said earlier we started elementary school.
Yes.
That's where we initially started, but we grew out of a need. So we established, once those elementary school students went off to middle school, a middle school leadership program where those students could be junior leaders. That's actually where my story started.
Yeah.
And then a high school leadership program where those high school students can then work for the program. They first have to volunteer, they have to maintain at least a 2.5 grade point average, but they're able to work as paid staff, for some as young as 14 years old, and you know, it gives that vision. But as far as the arts, we incorporate, for right now what's in session is our after school programs. And we have art, especially that happens every Wednesday and Friday, but it's a mix. It might be some of our staff who are preparing arts and crafts for that day. It might be some of our bigger projects. Each of our schools this year has been working on a peace pole mural that they are presenting to their respective schools.
Phenomenal. Can you tell me about that? So those peace poles are going to go to back to the school?
Back to the
school
schools.
of origin? And do you know where they're going to go?
We don't know where they're going to go yet, but each school, and I should mention the schools we're at, are Delray Woods, King, Highlands, or Terrace Elementary, and then also Walter Colton Middle.
Wonderful.
And they were really a gift because CPY wouldn't be here. One of those partners very early on was the school district. So we're able to operate directly out of MPUSD schools.
Yes,
and you know, you talked about the thank you letters. We're very big on an attitude of gratitude. And what better way to mix, you know, being grateful with allowing our students to be creative, be artistic, and share that back with their schools.
Oh, that's wonderful. So when you look back, you know, you have a ways to look back as a participant. How old were you when you started?
I started initially when I was 11 years old. Someone asked me this yesterday.
Yeah, you have a photo.
This is 1999.
So, that's wonderful. So, so when you look back at your 11-year-old self, what do you think is what kept you coming back? Because you probably could have said,
well, I should start out with, I didn't initially want to be there.
oh, that's
My mom put me in the program, and I'm fortunate that she did. Our neighbors went to CPY, and my mom was a single mother at the time, was working a lot. This was my 7th grade summer, so I just finished 7th grade, and I had a younger sister as well, and I thought I was old enough to take care of her. But my mom wanted me to be in a safe place, heard good things about CPY, and put me in. And for me, it was incredibly impactful. I was not a student who was getting in a lot of trouble. I was doing the exact opposite. I was trying not to be seen.
just kind of hiding.
Just hiding. So that first summer, I got partnered with one of my mentors, Mr. Jason, and I worked with him and his group, again, because I was in middle school. I was a junior leader. I was given this responsibility. And I worked with him and his group of 2nd grade boys every day that summer, and he just made me feel important. He just really gave me a voice, I would say, more than anything else. And I just found myself wanting to not be hidden anymore, wanting to help out more and more, and to the point where I wanted to come back the following year in 8th grade. And I came back in high school. And I would say it was in high school where I had wonderful mentors who empowered me to really see myself as the leader. And that's where that transition happened. It was me looking up to the mentors, but then me realizing that students were looking to me now as a mentor. And from that, I grew to love working with youth, to love that I could be a leader in my community. And you know, today this is going to be my 20th summer.
Oh, that's amazing.
But outside of that, the reason I'm still here is because my staff are those kids who I used to work with, and the high school mentors are now the students who they used to work with. So there's just it's not just my story. It's something that is imbued in CPY. It's something that's we've been doing very well, and it's a lot of fun to be a part of, to know when I look at this kindergartner now that there's a good chance I'm going to know them, you know, as they're in high school and beyond.
Yeah, that's just so phenomenal. I mean, what a great system, what a great program. So tell me more about when you look at the program, look at what's going on, and again, particularly the visual and performing arts segments of your program, and look out maybe 3 or 4 years. what do you see there? Maybe more of the peace polk types of things where you have like a semi-permanent place?
We definitely see more of that. I always want to, if we can, have our arts exactly in a semi-permanent or permanent state where, again, those youth can come back and be able to see that, and they've left their mark in the community. And we're teaching our young people as well that they can have an impact on their community, and this is one of those ways that shows. Besides that, CPY has always been a firm believer in partnerships. We're a grassroots organization. A lot of the depth that we're able to provide our students is from our wonderful, amazing partners. So I see that continuing to grow, whether it's Palenque Arts and our youth choir, our students being able to sing, or a wonderful volunteer that we just met this year, Lisa Handley with Plumeria Paper Craft has been doing amazing collage art with our students.
Great.
So it's really looking at what new and exciting opportunities are out there for our students. Long-term goals, we hope to one day own our office building and put it out there now. And we have a technology and design center there, but it would be wonderful to have a studio space as well that our students could work in and, again, showcase some of that art.
That's wonderful. And are you also still in Salinas?
We're not in Salinas anymore. It's been some time, but we were able to be there for quite a few years, and there's a possibility of returning. We've never been interested in numbers. It really is about being able to dive deep, and we grow where the need is. So if that door opens, we definitely, if that door opens and there's a rhyme, reason, or way, we're going to pursue that. But right now, we're trying to focus back here in Seaside, and it's a lot of fun to be a part of.
That's brilliant. So if people from the just general public said, I love what you're doing, I want to help, how do they connect with you? What might their opportunities be?
We have volunteers who, we always like to pair our volunteers with their passions. So we have lots of volunteers who just come in, either spend time with the students as a mentor, as someone helping out with homework or a particular activity. But if we have a volunteer who is passionate about, two of our volunteers, Edie Ellis and Maria Prince. Edie is also part of our board, but they do photography with our students every summer. And we're always looking to partner our volunteers to figure out what their passions are and connect them with students. Best teachers are often people who are passionate about something, so we really try to explore that.
That's brilliant. And so you have a program that goes throughout the school year, but then also in the summer. Can you talk about how the summer is different from
Summer is
after
different
school?
in the sense that it's all day. So we have the students for 6 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 to 5, Monday through Friday.
So you have to program the whole day.
And we do. So the mornings are focused on academics in the summer. You talked about the thank you notes. We believe in an attitude of gratitude again. And for those who've helped make CPY possible, like the Arts Council for Monterey. We make sure our students know who those people are and what they've done for us to support our program.
And their penmanship is so beautiful.
Exactly. So for us, it's that disguised learning. So one, they're learning to be thankful, but two, we're talking about sentence structure, penmanship, spelling,
I definitely
all that.
noticed that,
And it's a great way also for we split our students into small groups.
Okay.
Again, I got paired with Mr. Jason and his second grade boys. Each of our leaders is responsible for a small group.
Like 6, 8?
Yeah, I'd say probably 6, I would say 5 to 8 students. And those are little teams that really develop relationships, strong bonds over the course of the summer. So it's also a great way for those mentors to connect with their students and really support them. And once the afternoons, so this would happen during the morning, once the afternoon takes place, our students are in a mix of structured and unstructured play, different clubs that would happen, everything from guitar class to arts and crafts to knitting to different classes that we offer them to sign up for. And then also with our young mentors, our high schoolers, our college mentors, we give them an opportunity to, if they have a passion as well, to teach a class or to do something. When I was young, it was juggling. I had a juggling class.
Is that right?
Yep, that's right. I was an avid juggler in my high school days, and CPY helped nurture that because they encouraged me to teach kids. But we also have students who are doing murals during the summer, students who are high school students who are helping to lead dance, and whatever comes to mind for them. If they have a passion or an interest and we can organize that in a structured way, we want to see it happen.
That's brilliant. So can you tell me again, if you had to say the mission statement for Community Partnership for Youth, which we all call CPY, what does that look like?
Again, kind of stemming from Raymond Avilet's, it's providing a positive alternatives to drugs, gangs, and violence while reinforcing individual strengths. Every student is different, and our mission, I would say, is to see how best we can support those students for their long-term success.
That's so amazing. And so I imagine that a lot of them do come back and tell you, what it was like, just like you have your own story to tell. Are there a couple that really stand out for you now that maybe came to see you recently or, in the last year or so?
That came to see me recently. Oscar Gonzalez is one student who's at San Jose State right now, and his whole family went through the program.
Is that right?
Yeah. So he was the oldest.
Wow.
And he's always been just special student to me. He was, when I was a site coordinator, this is the person getting to oversee a after-school site. He was one of my first high school mentors who completed their volunteer term, and I got to hand their first paycheck to. And I got to see this young man. He's not that much, younger than me, but I got to see this young man really grow throughout the years, and to see him now at San Jose State, and his sister at UC Santa Cruz, and Monica as well, who's doing amazing things here in the community. It's fun to have those. I was just at the doctor's office yesterday, and I ran into Min Tran. If you're watching this, what I love is I still know these names for people who I haven't seen in 10 or 12 years, and sometimes more.
Then the whole story comes back.
And then you start remembering all those experiences. And when you see their face light up, when you see that connection, that for me, that's a reminder of we're doing our job, we're doing what we need to do. What we need to do in this community. And it's special that our youth and young people do feel that connection to CPY.
When we think about the arts as healing, we always think about turning trauma into triumph, and it seems like there's so many ways that you have done that with the whole beginning of CPY. There was the tragedy, there was the trauma for the whole community, and now you've turned it into triumph for hundreds, thousands of kids over the years. Thousands.
Yeah. Right now we have over 300 kids just with each of our after-school programs up in session right now. And
just amazing.
When we are in the summer program, it'll be over 250 youth who are under one roof with a lot of high school and a lot of mentors, and it's a lot of fun.
A lot of mix. So as I understand the way that your program evolves, if you like it, you stick with it, and then you volunteer for, is it a year?
It is either a summer or a semester. So then, for the high school mentors, a summer or semester that they have to volunteer. And
then you can become eligible for the paid positions. And then if you really stick with it like you did, you get to be the program director and in charge of everything. Pretty much.
That's a lot of fun, and I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful to be here in this position and to keep those relationships going.
That's so wonderful. So if there's one thing that you would want people to know about CPY right now that you think maybe they don't understand or don't know yet, what would that be?
We often say we're one of the best kept secrets. Just that we're out there. We're serving the youth in the community. There's a big need. We can't do it alone. We are not the answer, but we see ourselves as doing our part in the community, and we do it with all of you, with our amazing partners, with our community members. We can't do it alone. And it really is special. This is, we're going to be celebrating our 30th anniversary in a couple years. And right now, just a little plug, we have our 15th annual Hats Fashion Show coming up.
Oh, yes, I did get my invitation.
Yes, awesome. So that's going to be taking place April 6th. It's going to be a Saturday. It's a luncheon. And, the focus this year is really going to be a spotlight on CPY. But just for for the listeners out there, for the viewers, it's a luncheon that also features a high-end fashion show, hats fashion show.
I know, I gotta get my
So
hat.
you got to bring your best hat. It's always a little tricky for me to find a hat that works, but I usually manage pretty well, and that's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, it's just been so great to talk with you. I'm just so in awe of your whole entire program, and I love seeing you all around the community and getting those thank you notes. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Really
Thank
a pleasure.
you.